Um, recently, a friend of mine told me she saw a UFO land, well, come into the crater of Waialeale. Tonight, I took a photograph of a lenticular cloud
Ah, okay.
over Waialeale.
All right. Yeah, that's a beauty. I've seen some of those up there too.
So, is there anything you can share about the history of Kauai and UFOs?
Well, we're talking about Kauai and UFOs. Let's first of all talk about Kauai and lenticular clouds. Now, a lenticular cloud is a particular type of cloud formation which looks like the classic UFO, actually. It looks like a lens, okay? A convex lens, like this on one side, like this, and really thin trailing edges, and usually extremely white. And there are some people who would love to believe that there are UFOs hidden inside these things. Weather-wise, however, these are special clouds that are formed by very high clouds formed by very strong winds. I shouldn't say very high. I've seen a lenticular cloud, actually, a big one, in the Waimea Canyon. It was an awesome sight. But these are caused by very high winds. Right? So that's what that kind of cloud formation is. It's curious. It's almost like the same thing that why water forms a streamlined shape when it drops down through the atmosphere. Right? Well, when you've got wind working on clouds in a particular way, it forms this streamlined, very streamlined shape. Right? Now, what is in Hawaiian tradition, and I've seen some of these and other people do see them, is a type of UFO. Now let's use the old definition, the proper definition, unidentified flying object, remember, which is usually associated with Pele or with some of the gods and goddesses, but most often Pele. And this is a fireball, type of fireball. Now there's a couple kinds of these that have been described. One of them is a kind that flies around fairly close to the earth, may hover over somebody's house, appears kind of low, but it's actually like an actual fireball that you would see. Okay? I've seen similar things that people have called, I've seen them in Michigan, that people have called, can't remember the exact name of them now, but it's these balls formed so almost like St. Elmo's fire, born of static electricity. Okay, that's just a Western description of the same thing. Doesn't mean it's any more valid. It's just a Western description. The other kind that's described is larger, higher, and is described almost identical to what the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks described it. They described it as a flaming shield going through the sky, which had flaming edges and then deep red, dark flame in the center of it. And it was in the shape of a shield. Now, very similar things have been described here. They didn't use the shield concept, but these are also usually attributed to Pele. Some people think that they are meteors. Without actually being able to get up close to one, it's hard to tell. But we do have those kinds of traditions. Now, there are also traditions in Hawaii in general, including on Kauai, of flying islands. The Menehune people are supposed to have left these islands, not just floating islands, flying islands, that are supposed to have left this island when they got together on the north shore of Ha'ena on one of these flying islands, sometimes called hidden islands or sacred islands of Kane and other kinds of terms that were not just on the surface of the water. They were in one of the kahikis. And so And we do have the tradition here on Kauai of the father of Maui being a man called Makali'i, who came from the Pleiades, mated with Maui's mother Huna, gave birth to Maui, and when Maui grew up, he went to visit his father. And there is a star, one of the names of one of the stars in the Pleiades, the brightest one, what we call Alcyone mostly, in Hawaiian is called Maui. Doesn't say, the legends don't say how they traveled back and forth. But we have these legends of flying islands, we have these legends of travel to the stars, we have these legends of travel to other, in and to other places floating off in the sky someplace. That's what we have. What it all means, you can put together in your own way.